Have you heard the gossip on Hashgraph? Educate yourself. Leemon explains Hashgraph and coloring crypto. In preparation for the big event. So enough said, let's dive in. What is he talking about? And who am I? That's a secret you obviously know. You know you like me. Hashgraph. Okay. So as you know, the Hashgraph launch event and announcement is coming up very soon. But before we dive into that, as a quick introduction to any of my new viewers out there, I'm the Gossip Guy, where we gossip about a world powered by Hashgraph. Basically, this channel is dedicated to news and updates surrounding this emerging technology and also its growing community. Gossip comes from the Gossip protocol that powers Hashgraph. Now with that being said, this past week there was 2 good pieces of Hashgraph educational content that I thought to take some time to highlight. First off, if you're not already familiar with the fundamentals surrounding the Hashgraph consensus algorithm, a video from the recent Dallas, Texas meetup was posted on the Hashgraph official YouTube page. This was basically a 16-minute long video that featured Dr. Leemon Baird's explanation of his invention, how it differs from blockchain, and potential use cases. At this point, there's already extensive content out there that talks about Hashgraph and goes into varying levels of detail. However, what stood out to me the most on this video was the consolidated nature of the speech that really honed in on the fundamental aspects of the algorithm. Also, I appreciated the final slide of the presentation, which was a really good one-pager to help better grasp what Hashgraph is. There was also a video that featured the Q&A for the event, so you should go check out both of these videos whenever you have the chance. And along the themes about educating yourself on Hashgraph, Paul Madsen from Swirlds, the Hashgraph company, had an interview on the Coloring Crypto podcast with Gabe Colors. Just like in Leemon's interview, Paul explains Hashgraph and how it achieves Byzantine fault tolerance and the fundamentals around distributed ledger technologies. However, what I found interesting about this interview were some of the concepts Paul shared about how a Hashgraph public ledger could hypothetically function. He also touched upon the topic of open source software and observations in its usage within the crypto space. Now, I'll stop here as I think you should go check out the podcast for yourself. So I've left a link within the description down below. And finally, on to the upcoming March 13th event. Now, I'm sure many of you are excited to hear more around the details of the announcement. However, in the meantime, we were recently made aware of the speakers that will be at the event. Aside from the Swirlds team, there will also be Don Tebow, President and Chairman of the Open Identity Exchange, Helen Disney, CEO and founder of Unblocked, and Gabe Leedon, CEO of MZ, who I also wanted to take some time to focus on. If you're unfamiliar with MZ, it's a technology company best known for its massive multiplayer online games, or MMO, Game of War and Mobile Strike, which have both been some of the highest grossing mobile games in history. Now, Gabe's presence at this event piqued my interest as MMOs have been discussed as one of the leading use cases for Hashgraph. If you also recall, an MMO was originally developed at the TechCrunch Disrupt Hackathon that Hashgraph had originally sponsored. So it'll be very interesting to see what else might be announced in addition to the highly anticipated public ledger. So that's it for this week's gossip. For next week, I plan to have a good amount of coverage of the event and possibly some interviews with some of the Hashgraph team. If you want to follow any of my coverage, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and also turn on notifications to stay posted on future updates. So with all that being said, this is the Gossip Guy signing out. Thanks for watching. And no sooner do I edit this video, it looks like Intiva Health came out with their own announcement for this week regarding their ReadyDoc identity verification platform for healthcare professionals. It also looks as if Intiva will be launching a token of their own using Hashgraph. To get more information, I've left a link to the announcement down below.